Pray with me. May my words and our listening be in accordance with your gospel good news. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Jesus told parables or stories, and they speak to us of ourselves and of God. This one, the parable of the wise and foolish young women, is unique to Matthew. And it's very timely for us during these days of a new normal uncertainty about the future. Oil for my lamp. The image of the poor prepared girl scurrying around and at midnight, middle of the night, only finding closed stores and closed chances. Their stress strikes a responsive chord in us. Who among us has not felt ourselves to be unprepared, a day late and a dollar short, as the old phrase goes? Who among us has not been nagged by the fear of poor preparation as we face an exam, a job interview, a speech, a sermon, company coming, or a date? Who among us has not felt the conflict of wondering how prepared we must be and how prepared is prepared well enough? These are questions of everyday life. Today's gospel reassures us and at the same time invites us. Now, in contrast to the 6 so-called unwise girls, we see the wise ones whose lamps are gleaming brightly because they prepared. They could clearly see their way to the bridegroom, and he could see them. Yeah, good preparation generally means success. Being spiritually prepared is a source of all our other preparednesses. As we learn how to be spiritually prepared, we develop the ability to be prepared in our everyday lives. Many people are unprepared for life simply because they are unprepared for their place in the Spirit. We're now aware of the need to plan for our futures. We've heard about estate planning so that what you leave will go where you want. We've heard about advanced medical directives so that the care you get will be what you desire. The Great Litany has a phrase worth remembering. From dying suddenly and unprepared, good Lord, deliver us. The prayer book is very clear about the need to plan a legacy that fits with you. The clergy are directed to remind you about this from time to time. There, you've been reminded, so Father Robert and Mother Mary Ann don't have to. I'm old enough to remember the civil defense warnings we all received shortly after the testing of nuclear weaponry in the Nevada desert. You remember them, maybe, depending on your age. We were asked to stock our basements with provisions, fresh water, and so forth for our families in the event of an air raid. We were asked to attend classes that would show us where the shelters were should there be a general call for protection. We were asked to prepare ourselves to be self-sufficient. Many people followed the directions, many others did not. We learn slowly and reluctantly to prepare for life's eventualities. We buckle our seat belts now as a matter of course, not starting our cars until they're firmly and clicked in place. But we didn't for many years, resisting the evidence. We wear a mask when we're around others, and we wonder about those who resist. We take security of our homes and offices and the financial accounts much more seriously than we used to. We're even beginning to prepare for our final illnesses, instructing our loved ones as to the extent of treatment that we wish to have applied, especially if there appears to be little hope of recovery. We're also asked to plan for the future in other ways. We're now being asked to prepare an earthquake kit to help us through some dark days after that big one hits. What? You haven't prepared a kit? Me either. I mentioned earlier the spiritual dimension of preparation. The person who knows how to prepare spiritually is also the one who is generally prepared for life, even and especially during a time of stress. Fact is that spiritually prepared people are healthier, more ready for life, and more resilient when life throws them a curveball. The late Mother Alice Scannell has written that Christians can be the most resilient of all. That may be because Jesus is the center of our faith. You're to be commended for your spiritual preparation that brings you to this day, and will do so in the coming weeks and months. You have tended to your families. You have paid attention to your own physical and emotional needs. You've practiced those skills of self-reliance. You are here in church on Sunday morning, worshiping in a way that we can. So many times in the last 6 months, I might have said, Lord, my lamp is running low on oil. Please fill it. Actually, life is more than either or. It's more like both and. Today's parable speaks to the wise women having lamps full of oil in readiness, and the foolish ones of having no oil, dark and useless lamps. In truth, you and I have some lamps that are full, some that are empty, and others that are half full or below the halfway mark. That's daily life as we live it. Which of your lamps are topped up and ready to go? Which ones are empty and need filling? And which ones need topping off for the journey ahead? Today's parable reminds us that the day of the Lord might come when we least expect. Spiritual preparation allows you to be ready. As we say in the liturgy, Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again. But we are not to know the day or the hour. Note that in today's parable, the bridegroom arrived at midnight. Inconvenient time indeed. Better to be wise and ready rather than foolish and unprepared. How to be well prepared for that day we meet Jesus. The holy season of Advent is coming just 3 weeks from today. Suffice to say that when we meet Jesus, we bring all of ourselves to his presence. The things that we're good at, the things we've kept carefully concealed. God's mercy extends to all of us, no exceptions. The lamp that you bring to meet Jesus will be burning brightly with plenty of oil. Bringing all of yourselves to Jesus, you will be radiant. God is the inexhaustible supplier of oil for your lamps. God's provision is so abundant that a hopeful and blessed life is yours if you but pray, ask, and receive. The Holy Spirit of God, the life-giving person of the Blessed Trinity, will supply you oil for your lamp during these trying times. May you not forget to pray and call upon that deep, deep source of inexhaustible abundance.